The pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey. But what happens when curiosity takes someone too far? In today's story, we follow an ambitious young researcher who stumbles upon a mystery that challenges everything he thought he knew. It begins with a simple question that spirals into an obsession that blurs the line between discovery and danger. Was it worth it? Or did the thirst for knowledge lead him to a path better left unexplored? Stay tuned to find out. When Daniel McAllister graduated with honours from one of the most prestigious universities in the country, he felt on top of the world. His passion for science was matched only by his curiosity. He wasn't content with just understanding what was already known. He wanted to uncover the unknown. His professors had always praised his ability to think outside the box, and his research was already making waves in academic circles. But Daniel wasn't satisfied with accolades. He wanted more. One day, while cleaning out a forgotten corner of the university's dusty archives, Daniel found a set of journals that seemed out of place. The leather-bound books were old, their pages yellowed and brittle with age. The name on the cover was unfamiliar: Dr. Jonathan Callaway, a researcher who had once been a rising star in the field of quantum physics before disappearing from the public eye more than 50 years ago. Intrigued, Daniel began to read. The journals were dense, filled with complex equations and theories that even Daniel struggled to comprehend. But what caught his attention was the recurring mention of a project called the Singularity Code. It was clear from the notes that Dr. Callaway had been obsessed with it. There were vague references to experiments, diagrams of strange machinery, and unsettling mentions of altered perceptions and dimensional rifts. The further Daniel read, the more he realized that Callaway had been onto something groundbreaking, something dangerous. Daniel's excitement grew as he dug deeper. He began cross-referencing the journals with other academic papers and records. He spent countless nights in the library, fueled by coffee and an unrelenting desire to understand what Callaway had discovered. The more he learned, the more convinced he became that this forgotten project held the key to unlocking a new understanding of reality itself. But as Daniel's knowledge grew, so did his unease. The journals hinted at a final experiment, one that Callaway had never completed. The details were fragmented, the calculations unfinished. There were warnings in the Motivational's notes scrawled in shaky handwriting that read, "Do not proceed, and the risk is too great." But Daniel couldn't stop now. He was too close to a breakthrough. With a mix of trepidation and determination, Daniel decided to continue where Callaway had left off. He replicated the experiments in a lab he set up in his basement. Weeks turned into months as he meticulously recreated the apparatus described in the journals. And then, one stormy night, it was ready. The machine hummed to life, its mechanisms whirring and clicking in a rhythmic dance. Daniel's heart raced as he activated the final sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the air around him seemed to warp and twist. Daniel felt a strange pressure in his chest, as if the very fabric of space was closing in on him. The lights flickered, and the room grew cold. Suddenly, he saw flashes of another world's shadowy figures, landscapes that defied logic, and whispers that echoed in his mind. It was both terrifying and exhilarating. Then, just as quickly as it began, it was over. The machine powered down, leaving Daniel alone in the darkened room. Shaken but alive, he hurried to review the data. What he found left him stunned. The experiment had worked. He had glimpsed into another dimension, just as Callaway had theorized. But as the adrenaline wore off, Daniel began to question what he had done. The warnings in the journals echoed in his mind. Had he opened a door that should have remained closed? In the days that followed, Daniel's life began to unravel. He was haunted by strange dreams and unexplained phenomena. Objects in his home moved on their own, and he often felt as if he was being watched. His once clear thoughts became muddled, and he struggled to focus on anything other than the experiment. Friends and colleagues noticed the change in him, but Daniel refused to talk about it. He was consumed by the knowledge he had gained, yet it brought him no peace. Finally, unable to take it anymore, Daniel returned to the journals. He needed to understand what had gone wrong. As he reread the final entries, something clicked. The last pages, previously overlooked, contained Calloway's final message, a desperate plea. I was wrong. Some knowledge is not meant to be possessed. Destroy the machine. Do not follow where I have gone. Realization dawned on Daniel, but it was too late. The damage was done. The door he had opened could not be closed, and the consequences were far worse than he had imagined. The pursuit of knowledge had led him to a place where logic and reason no longer held sway. In his quest for understanding, Daniel had lost something far more valuable, his peace of mind. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Tales with Meaning. Today's story reminds us that while the pursuit of knowledge is a noble endeavor, it is not without its risks. There are some questions that perhaps should remain unanswered, and some doors that are better left closed. In Daniel's case, his thirst for discovery led him down a path that forever altered his life, a powerful reminder that knowledge, like all things, must be approached with wisdom and caution. We hope you've enjoyed this tale and that it has given you something to ponder. Until next time, remember that every story holds a lesson, and every choice we make shapes the path ahead. Thank you for listening.